So one of the great things about the new Maschine 2.0 is the fact that it makes a great way to perform a track that you've made at home in a club. So it's a whole concept of building something at home and then taking it into the club environment and really just responding to the crowd and doing something that's based upon the reactions you're getting. So it's kind of like a live remix vibe on the track that you've made. And I've got a collection of scenes, and you can see in the software this whole kind of linear fashion for the structure, which is this basic arrangement, but I've got the flexibility to flip it around and do interesting things. And so I'm going to show you some of the basic components of the track. So this is like the intro beat section, and this is going to keep looping. You can see this kind of cycle range from left to right over the 8 bars. So you can imagine in a club, you could use this to mix in from the previous track, or you might want to go for something dramatic. I've got something else I want to show you. On this group over here, I've got a vocal. So I've got 2 versions of the vocal. Let me just take this off the scene view. That's the mad trippy vocal. And that's just the kind of classic delayed vocal. And this is really great because if we go back to the first one, this will make a really great dramatic intro. So if people know this track, they're familiar with that sound, when they're in a club, if all the music drops and they hear that, they're probably going to respond to that. So look, let's just imagine we're in that club environment. So that would make a really dramatic intro. So you can imagine that in a club, that's wicked, right? So look, let's just progress. Let's go through the different scenes. So look, I've got a new section. So you could always come back to that vocal, take it off the scene view. Next scene. Maybe we'll solo the bass. Yeah, these are all the kind of flexible things that you could do in the club. Let's bring that bass on. I've got a couple of fills up here. Fill 1 and 2. Look, here we go. So yeah, you can flip around this, have a play around with it. It's a lot of fun. So let's move on to the next section. It's like a breakdown. So come back to that vocal. Just going to let it loop, but do the vocal again. So anyway, look, you get the picture. So this is great. I'm going to set up some effects on the master, and at the moment you can see the limiter is showing here. So to add an effect on the master, what we do is make sure we're at the end of the signal path here. So I push the button and that's an empty slot, and I can do Shift plus Browse, and we can take a look through the effects. I'm looking for a DJ style filter, so I'm just going to load this up. Just take it off of here, just push Browse twice and we're back onto this, and I want to take this to the high pass. Let's get it so it says HP. Where are we? So there we go. Cutoff. Let's bring this down for the moment. Resonance, just going to leave there. And so this gives us that DJ style kind of filtering. But the problem is the orientation of the effect. Let me just show you here on the interface, you can see basically that filter is after the limiter, and that's no good for me, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to push shift, I'm going to move this over. So you see that? So the filter is coming after the bus compressor, but before the limiter. That's pretty good. And let me just see how that feels. So here we go. So anyway, you get the whole vibe here. We're building up these effects to use as part of a performance. And let me just show you, I'm going to show you some of the other sections that we got here. So anyway, you get the picture. Can have a lot of fun with that vibe. And yeah, that's just a little kind of insight into that whole concept of getting a track, getting it ready to take it into the club and do like some kind of mad live performance, remixing on the fly. You've got so much flexibility there, and it brings it really alive. You know, that whole concept of responding to the crowd, seeing what they're into, and doing something special using the Maschine 2.0 software update.